bad news. I know every time I call you, I'm giving you bad news, aren't I? Diane went for testing
I am so sorry, y'all. Like literally, I hit the button and my mama called me. And then normally, usually she'll call me and be like, "Oh, boom, 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 boom." But she kept going on and on. She was giving me some bad news. One of her best friends died yesterday, and she was calling to let me know. And then my uncle on my father's side, he died. I mean, not my uncle, my cousin on my father's side, he died 2 days ago. Child, there's been a lot going on. But sorry about that, y'all. I apologize. I wouldn't have started the live until after I got off the phone, but I had already hit the button. So anyway, how you guys doing? Yes, y'all are getting shoulders because when I'm going to the pool in a little while. So you see my bathing suit. You see my bathing suit, and this is my one of my little cover-ups that I have on. So yes, y'all are getting shoulders. Xavier, y'all are getting shoulders. So hey everybody, come on in. Well, thank you, y'all. Thank you. She had been sick with cancer. She had been really she had been suffering. So, but I know my mom is still, that was her friend. That was her friend. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown, Tracy, Mia, what's going on? Both my Tracy's are here. Hey, Corey, y'all, Xavier. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown. Hey, everybody. She seemed to be in good spirits. Like I said, she had been sick, so I mean that doesn't make it all go away, but you feel, and then my cousin, He's had a life. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. What's up, Soulful Dog? Hey, hey, hey. Thank you, Yana. Thank you so much. So listen, I wanted to come down here. What's up, SDK? I wanted to come down here and you didn't get a notification. Let me share that I'm live. Y'all, I wanted to come down here and I wanted to share because let me tell y'all what I did. Because this whole Michael Orr, the blindside situation, I'm getting a little frustrated, not with y'all. Y'all know I'm getting frustrated with the tribe. I'm getting a little frustrated with some narratives and stuff that I'm seeing. I have literally listened to 3 different lawyers' videos. I listened to Pam, I listened to Emily Baker, and I listened to Natalie, the lawyer chick, right? Just so I can make sure I get all the legalese of the situation. And I said, let me come down here and maybe let me put it in my words so that we can all be on the same page and understand. Now, I ain't talking to the tribe because I know the tribe gets it. I know the tribe gets it, right? The tribe understands what's going on here and they get it. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with me. That does not mean you have to agree with me. But I at least want people to have the facts. Well, no, let me rewind that. I at least want people to have the allegations because the allegations does not mean that these are the facts, but these are the allegations. Okay. And Tracy said, dang, it's more, baby. It is more. Okay. The more I listen to, because the thing I like about listening to lawyers go through the paperwork is when they start giving their commentary and they give their insight on their experiences with certain things. So each lawyer gave me a little bit of insight, a little bit of information so I could put together and give y'all what I feel. I'm going to go through what I have in my notes, but then I'm going to give y'all my theory. I'm going to tell y'all how I think this whole thing went down. Okay. And I think most of us probably feel the same way. Not everybody, because again, everybody don't have to agree. But let me share out that I'm live because you know YouTube be playing games with me sometime. Y'all, my algorithm, listen, my stats are all screwed up this month. Well, you take a week off to go on vacation and YouTube just don't let you live, child. YouTube just don't let you live. I lost subscribers. I gained 2 subscribers. I lose 3. My views are down. I said, that's okay. I'm just going to come here and do what I do. And I know the tribe got me and the tribe love me. Also, I'm going to do a quick members only live. And so immediately following this, I'm going to do a quick members only live. I got a couple of things I want to share with my members. And yeah, got a couple of things I want to share with y'all. Shoot. Now I got to remember what I wanted to share with y'all. Wait a minute. I know one. Oh, damn. I got to remember first before I can go live. Dang. I know it was one thing I wanted to tell y'all, but it was 2 other things I wanted to share with y'all. Damn. See, my brain is bad. I should have wrote it down. If I can remember what it is, we're going live. If I can't remember, I know it was 2 things I wanted to tell y'all, but it's a 3rd thing that I wanted to tell y'all, and I don't remember what it is. Shit. I'm mad at myself now. Well, we can still go live for a few minutes because it wasn't going to be long anyway. I just wanted to touch bases with y'all about a few things. Damn. Anyway, all right, try. Let's get into this because the people be saying it take me too long to get to the information. So let me get to this. All right. So I have listened to the 3 lawyers go through this information. And again, I'm sorry for the delay at the beginning, but tribe, I love y'all. Anyway, Kanye started out on the prayer list, then moved to the permanent sick and shut-in list, then he stopped bothering us. Because prayer works. Now, that's why I don't even bother with Kanye. Kanye over there minding his business, walking around barefoot with his wife. And if she like it, I love it. Okay. What's up, Kia? Good. I'll admit I haven't gotten all of the details of the case, though I'm a corporate lawyer. I'm still interested. I'm just saying, go ahead, corporate lawyer. Yes, my love. Okay. So first of all, I want to clear something up. And I know that for us lay people, we don't really get into the verbiage of things, but it is important to have the right verbiage. And so with that being said, this is not a lawsuit. This is not a lawsuit. They have not filed a lawsuit. And it's important that I say that because they still reserve the right to sue if they choose to sue. But they have not sued the Tuohys. They have petitioned the court for 3 things. Now, let me tell y'all the 3 things that they have petitioned the court with. They have petitioned the court with 3 things. So the first thing that they petitioned the court with, 1, to end the conservatorship. That's number 1. Number 2, for a full accounting of the finances that have gone on in the last 20 years as it relates to Michael, right? And we're going to get deep into that in a second. The third thing, hey Montrez, the third thing is for future, let me make sure I word it. I want to word it right. Basically for considerations. That would be the equivalent of what we would probably call like punitive damages kind of thing. And I feel like that third piece is where they're going to try to, the third piece, that third part is basically they're going to try to get some sort of restitution, right? Based on pain and suffering. That's not what they said, but that's the way I'm interpreting it. And if it's wrong, then it's just wrong. And my lawyer people are going to get me together, and I love y'all for it. Now, I'm going through my notes. My notes are all over the place because I told y'all I listened to 3 different videos. So my notes might be a little bit here, a little bit there. But y'all know I'm going to bring it all together. So first of all, let me start at the beginning. The petition starts off. First of all, the petition is written by Michael's attorney. So it's going to be written from Michael's point of view. That's why, yeah, my arm's out because I'm on my way to the pool, child. You see my bathing suit. See my little bathing suit underneath? That's my bathing suit. This is my little cover up. So you didn't miss nothing, Miss Carter. We really just getting started. I had a little delay at the beginning. We really just getting started. So, it's written from his point of view. That doesn't mean that it is accurate. It just means that this is Michael's perception of what happened based on the information that they have been able to gather. Okay, so that's why I want to say that. So the petition gives you a little bit of background on Michael, or well, Michael, I think it's Michael Williams. I don't know where "or" comes from. Don't know, but whatever. So we know that Michael was born into a family. They lived in the projects. He was like 10 out of 12 kids. His mom, mom was, drug addict. He was in and out of the system. And at one point, his mother actually lost custody of him, and he was in foster care. Michael kept running away from foster care, and eventually they just stopped looking for him, right? It was like, well, shoot, he keep running away. Oh, well, then I guess he where he want to be. And it was at that point where Michael basically was homeless. He would, go from house to house, family member to family member. He would couch surf because from what it sounds like, DJS wasn't looking for CPS, whoever. They weren't really looking for him. That's his mom's last name. Okay, thank you, Tracy. They weren't looking for him, right? So he was just out there willy-nilly doing whatever. The petition is clear to say that Michael is not stupid. However, he did suffer from having inconsistent education. His education history was spotty. Why? Because he was in and out of foster care. He was running around. He was homeless. He was living from place to place. So do you think that going to school every day was probably at the top of his priority list? Maybe, maybe not. But it never said that the boy was stupid, which of course is a bone of contention with him, that in the movie he was portrayed as being an idiot. And he was like, I am not stupid. At some point, he came across a man by the name of Tony Henderson. Now, Tony Henderson is the guy that got him into the Christian Academy, right? Private school in Tennessee, in where they lived, right? Nashville. I think it was Nashville. That is where he even ran into the Tuohys. So that's important for this story to understand that he was already in an elite private school before he even met this family. And Michael Henderson is the guy that got him in to the school because he saw the potential. And Michael had to have good grades because he was actually playing football and basketball at the high school. So he had to be academically eligible. And again, I'm bringing up the academics because the movie just made him look like a damn idiot. So he was academically eligible to play sports. Again, when he got into the school, he was playing basketball and football, right? He was an All-American state, and he actually played in the Army, Navy football game. And for people who don't know what the Army-Navy football game is, the Army-Navy football game is the elite of the elite throughout the country. So he was an All-American football player before he even met the Tuohys. That's important because, again, in the movie, it made it look like the Tuohys taught him how to play football, taught him how to block, right? The boy was already All-American before he met them. And if he was already All-American and was playing 2 sports before he met him, I'm pretty certain that there were schools all over the country looking for Michael Oher to come to their school. Again, that's important. We're going to get to that, little baby. Little baby, calm down. We're going to get to that. There's a reason why. We're going to get to that, little baby. Little baby said the movie made him look like an idiot because the author thought and wrote him to be an idiot. We're going to get to that. I'm about to blow y'all socks off in a minute because, baby, but we're going to get to that. So when the Tuohys, the Tuohys was just one of the families that Michael used to, stay with from time to time. It wasn't until the summer of his junior year that the Tuohys actually invited him to come and live with them. The summer of his junior year, well, between junior and senior year. Between junior and senior year is when they invited him to come and live with him. Well, no, that's when he started staying there more often, and they started buying him clothes and doing nice stuff for him. And then they asked him to come and live with them once he became 18. Prior to him being 18, they never sought any legal guardianship, and that's where I'm wrong. I said that they were his legal guardians, and I was incorrect. So let me clear that up. They were never his legal guardians. For all intents and purposes, Michael had been a ward of the state since he was like 12 years old. Thank you, Agnes. Michael had been a ward of the state since he was like 12 years old. He was never their guardian. They were never his legal guardian. But once he turned 18, then that's when they invited him to come and live with them. And that's when they said they wanted to adopt him. Once he turned 18. Okay? Now, here's where we get into the petition. And again, if y'all weren't already upset, y'all, this is going to piss y'all off. Okay? This is going to piss y'all off. When they approached Michael, this part we already know. Some of this I'm going to repeat, but I want to put it in some sort of chronological order so you guys can understand where this is coming from. So when they approached Michael, this is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. So that doesn't mean that this is a fact. This is his what he's saying. When they approached Michael about the adoption, they said that they were told by their attorneys that because he was 18, they could not legally adopt him, but they could do a conservatorship, which was basically the same as adoption for all intents and purposes. It was the same as an adoption, but basically because he was over 18, that's the way they had to do it. So from Michael's understanding, he knew that there was a conservatorship, but what he was told was that this is the first step of us being able to adopt you because you're over 18, and this is the process. Okay? Because today, the Shade Room posted an excerpt from his book saying, in his first book, Beating All the Odds, Michael said that he knew he was in a conservatorship. But it also says in that excerpt, they told me that's the same as an adoption. He didn't say he didn't know he was never under conservatorship. He said he didn't know he was still under no damn conservatorship, and he didn't understand the difference because they told him that a conservatorship is the same as an adoption. That's what they told him. Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? In the paperwork, that we've seen there. Now, what we don't have is, and Pam and Emily and Natalie were all saying the same thing. They want to see the actual petition. Like, what did the Tuohys file in the court? What did they actually say in their petition for conservatorship. That hasn't been available yet. If this case goes forward, I'm sure it'll come up in discovery, but that wasn't in the original filing. So we have not seen what the actual petition said. We don't know what they said in the petition to convince the judge that they should get a conservatorship. However, what we do know is the guardian ad litem was foregone. So for people who don't know what a guardian ad litem is, the guardian ad litem is someone who is a third party that does not represent either party, but is there to help explain and guide people through the process. So for example, in this case, had Michael had a guardian ad litem, had the court put a guardian ad litem in place, that person would have been able to explain to Michael the difference between adoption, conservatorship, and what he was giving up. What was he signing? What was he? But instead, the court said, oh, no, we don't need a guardian ad litem. Now, I'm with all of y'all about we need to do some information. We need to Google this judge, okay? We need to Google the judge that was over this case because I feel like, listen, I'll be honest with y'all. I feel like somebody might end up going to jail behind this. By the time this whole thing come out, baby, it looked like it was a whole scheme set up by Todd to come to us with the bullshit. Now, we're going to get there when I get to the end of this, but it's really sounding real set up-ish. So the judge said, we don't need a guardian ad litem. So Michael's only understanding of what was happening is what was coming from the Tuohys and what was coming from the Tuohys' lawyers. Now, the lawyer was a woman by the name of Debbie, and she was so close with the family that Michael called her Aunt Debbie. She just wasn't a lawyer that was just she was a family friend to the point where Michael called this woman Aunt Debbie. So for all the people that are like, well, Michael could have just asked questions. Michael did. Why didn't he add da? Again, it seems like they're cutting these avenues off. The people who are supposed to be looking out for him didn't look out for him. They're cutting the avenues off from Michael at every turn. So had there been a guardian ad litem in place, maybe he would have made a different decision. Now, I can't go back in a time machine and say that he would have done something different, but maybe he would have made a different decision. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that I was like, what? Michael, by signing the conservatorship, Michael gave up all of his rights to make his own decisions as it relates to medical decisions, making his own decisions as it relates to contractual decisions, anything. I mean, something as simple as getting a credit card. Technically, he would have needed their permission. Technically. Now, I told y'all the other day, it sounds like I requested a guardian ad litem for my daughter during a custody dispute. Her father was moving sketchy as fuck. See, that's what I'm saying, Kenya. Exactly. And a guardian ad litem is supposed to be impartial. So that person would have been able to answer whatever questions Michael had, or just explain to Michael, listen, before you sign this paper, I just want to make sure that you understand what you're signing. And if he said, yeah, I understand, and he signed it anyway, see, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Had they got a guardian ad litem, they might have a real argument. Because they could be like, well, this person explained to Michael, he knew exactly what he was signing. But because there wasn't one, he's only going by what y'all are telling him. And so now it comes down to he say, she say. What did you tell him? What didn't you tell him? But had y'all put a guardian ad litem in place, it would have been documented what was told to Michael and what he understood. Shirley, that's a good question. And we talk about, hold on, Shirley said, who signed the NFL contract? Now, I don't have a copy of it. But that's a good question. And that and Emily actually brought that up. But I'm gonna tell y'all what my theory is in a minute. When I get to my theory, Shirley, you tell me if this sounds good to you or not, or you feel what I'm saying or not. Okay. So okay, I just want to make sure I'm going in the right order, y'all. I want to go in the right order. I got all these notes, and the notes are not in order, so I want to make sure I'm saying everything I want to say. Okay. So he signed the conservatorship. Now, we already have talked about this whole, did he need their permission to get married? Technically, yes. Now, did they, see, again, I'm going to get to that in a minute, Shirley, but technically, yes. Technically, Everything that Michael has done in the last 20 years, he would have needed their permission. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Shirley, don't let me forget to get to that. But I have a theory. I have a theory on this, okay? Because remember, y'all, in their petition, in the Tuohy's petition, they only asked for the conservatorship until he was 25 years old. The court came back and said, no, we're going to make this permanent. And you guys can petition the court to end the conservatorship. They never petitioned the court, which is why 20 years later, Michael is technically under this conservatorship. You understand what I'm saying? So the Tuohys only wanted the conservatorship until he was 25. And that goes to my theory, which I'm going to get to at the end of this. That goes to my theory on what I think went down. But technically, because Michael is still under that conservatorship, everything that he has signed in the last 20 years, a credit card, hell, even a cell phone contract, his house, his car, any life insurance, medical insurance, any decisions that he has made in the last 20 years, technically, they were supposed to give permission. Technically. Legally. Not even technically. Legally. Now, we've already gone through this whole Ole Miss situation. Part of the reason why I think they put him under the conservatorship is because Ole Miss was concerned about the fact that they were boosters and they donated a lot of money to the program and a lot of money to the football program, that they really felt, the NCAA really felt like the Tuohys were just doing this with Michael to get him to play for Ole Miss, which I do now believe was the case, because Michael had been getting offers from colleges all over the country, but you choose Ole Miss, the alma mater of the Tuohys, where they are major boosters and donate major money to the football program, to the point where the NCAA was on their radar, to the point where the NCAA knew how big of a booster the Tuohys were to Ole Miss. You chose Ole Miss. You could have went to Bama. You could have went to Tennessee. You could have went to Ohio. You could have went to any of the powerhouses because they were all recruiting him. So I do believe that part one of this is they wanted Michael to play for Ole Miss and they recruited Michael for Ole Miss. Number one. That's number one. I believe that they did this to get Michael to play for Ole Miss. That's part of, and I absolutely believe now, knowing what I know now, I absolutely believe that it was a plan from the beginning to get Michael to play for Ole Miss. Absolutely. Okay, boosters are people who make major donations to like the athletic programs, or even just the programs at the school, but generally the athletic programs. So boosters usually have a lot of pull on campus. They have a lot of, because they get big money. They get that big money. And they're very well known, within the circles of that particular school. I don't have a formal definition in front of me, but that's pretty much the definition. If somebody wants to Google it and put it in the chat, please do, please. If somebody wants to Google it. Yes, exactly, Shirley. It sounds like the NCAA was absolutely correct. It sounds. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, this situation could go a lot of places. This situation could go a lot of places. If it comes out, once they start discovery and they start, because I truly believe that Michael and his attorneys are reserving the right to sue the Tuohys on the back end. And if they choose to sue the Tuohys after this is done, they absolutely could subpoena whoever the president was of Ole Miss at the time, the athletic director of Ole Miss at the time, and they could talk, what conversations did y'all have about Michael? When did y'all become aware of Michael? Why did y'all recruit Michael? Did the Tuohys make y'all any promises about Michael coming to Ole Miss? Like, they could subpoena those records. They could put them people under oath, and they could ask some people those questions. And let me tell y'all something. If it comes out that this was an orchestrated plan, the NCAA can go back to those seasons that Michael played, and they can deem Ole Miss ineligible ineligible. And if they won any championships, any conferences, anything, they could be penalized. They could be fined. The athletic department could be penalized. And that wouldn't be fair to the current students at Ole Miss or the current players at Ole Miss. But the NCAA absolutely can do that. You see, they did. Reggie Bush had been playing in the NFL for 10 years, and they went back and took his Heisman Trophy, and they fined the school. So the NCAA can do a lot. If it comes out later that this absolutely was an orchestrated plan between the Tuohys and Ole Miss, baby, the NCAA, especially since the NCAA already had concerns, the NCAA could be subpoenaed. Well, what did the Tuohys tell y'all? What did Ole Miss say to y'all? What were the conversations? Baby, this thing could get ugly. And like I said, somebody could go to jail behind this, but let me keep going. Let me read. Okay, Boost. Okay, so thank you, Mia. Mia put the definition in the chat. So here's what it is. Boosters referred to by the NCAA as representatives of the institution's athletic interests, include anyone who has provided a donation in order to obtain season tickets for any sport at the university. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, my love. The private school he attended was originally one of those segregation academies started after Brown versus Board. Yeah, Shirley, that sounds about right. You know, a lot of private schools were started after Brown versus Board. That sounds about right. I figured the NCAA will retroactively. I think they will. I think they're going to wait and see how this plays out, but I think they will. Southern Diva says, I was living in Tennessee when the NCAA thing was going on with them. The University of Tennessee was really pushing the investigation. They knew something and the milk wasn't clean. See? Listen, they might subpoena whoever was the head of the athletic department at the University of Tennessee at the time. Those people probably aren't currently in those positions, but they can still be subpoenaed. Let me tell y'all something. This thing, based on this information that I'm reading, I didn't read it. These videos I looked at, baby, this thing could get ugly. And when I say ugly, I mean ugly. This thing could get ugly. Okay. They should have just went on and gave that boy that $15 million he was asking for, because y'all done opened up a whole can of whoop ass. Listen, I haven't even gotten to the worst parts. Wait till I get to the worst parts. Y'all gonna be like, I'm telling y'all. Go ahead, y'all. It's 100 people in the room. I know the notifications may or may not have gone out. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you. Y'all know the more likes, the more people know that I'm live. Y'all know how YouTube does. So please make sure y'all are hitting that like button. Donations are not required, but they are accepted. Child, I did a lot of work for this information I'm bringing y'all, okay? Okay. Let me delete some of these notes, because it's so many notes here, but the stuff that I already said, let me delete this stuff out because it's out of order. My notes are just all over the place. Okay. So remember, okay, so the court granted the conservatorship, obviously. And remember, they were only asking until he was 25. The court said, nah, let's go ahead and make this permanent. And that's why I'm side-eyeing this judge. I'm side-eyeing the judge because you didn't feel like he needed a guardian ad litem. He's only 18 years old, and he should have had one to explain his rights to him, because he literally had just turned 18. It's not like he was 20, 21, 22. He just turned 18. And according to Emily Baker, it still would have been appropriate for him to have a guardian ad litem, right? The judge's name is Robert Benham. So yeah, I don't have the proper spelling because I don't have the paperwork in front of me. But if anybody want to, do their research, go for it. His name was Judge Robert Benham. I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know what his situation is, but neither here nor there. Okay. So that's the whole NCAA situation. Now let's get to this movie. Y'all ready for this? Now, this was in the paperwork. So for those of you who watch Emily Baker, Pam, or Natalie, y'all might already know this information. But for the rest of y'all want me to tell y'all something that's about to blow y'all mind? Y'all ready to hear it? Now, we already made the connection that the daughter is married. The Tuohy's daughter, what's her name? Cassidy? I think her name is Cassidy. The Tuohy's daughter, her name is Cassidy. She is married to the sister. I'm sorry. She's married to the brother of the woman who produced The Blind Side. The woman who produced The Blind Side is family to the Tuohys by marriage. Her brother is married to the daughter. We already made that Collins. Remember, we already made that connection, right? Okay, remember we made that connection. We got the article and everything. We made that connection. Thanks to my members, y'all be boom. I mean my tribe, y'all be boom. Y'all ready for the rest of this? Little baby, you might already know this because I know you listen to Natalie and Pam. You might already know this. But for the people who don't know, the man, let me find his name because I want to give y'all the man's name. I know I put it in my notes. Nope, that's the wrong name. Hold on. Oh, shoot. What's that man's name? I might not have wrote his name down, child. Maybe I didn't write his name down. Okay. The man who wrote the book, he retired in 2013. Thank you. Mia put his name in the Tracy and Mia, they got his name. Judge Robert Benham. That's the spelling. He retired in 2013. He about to listen. Can y'all, did he go to Ole Miss? Tracy, see if he went to Ole Miss. See if you can find in his bio where he went to college, honey. The person who wrote The Blind Side, remember the movie is based on a book written. I don't have the man's name here, child. But yes, I do. Hold on, let me get his name. I know his name. Hold on. Tracy, little baby sent me that clip yesterday. I can find his name. Oh, Mia typing it. Yeah, I love y'all. Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis is his name. The man who wrote the book, Michael Lewis. Hold on, wait a minute. We're going to read this. Thank you, Mia. Oh, Mia just sent me something good. We're about to read that in a minute. Let me go through my notes, though. We're going to read that. He went to Vanderbilt. Okay. Tuskegee, he was black? I'm shocked. That man was black. I need a second. Is that the right one? Okay, Tracy said the two judges with the same name. Who, child? Who was about to fall out, y'all? Who was about to be like, damn? Okay, Tracy, my bad. It's okay, y'all. Tracy, that's what happened with research. Tracy gonna get it straight. Okay. Let me get back to my notes. The person who wrote the book, The Blind Side, is a childhood friend of Sean Tuohy. They've been friends all their life. So his version in The Blind Side of the book in The Blind Side is based off of what the Tuohys then probably told him. Let me say it one more time. I want y'all to hear what I just said. Michael Collins, the person who wrote The Blind Side that the movie is based off of, is a childhood friend of the Tuohys. Let that sink in. Let me get back to my notes because it gets deeper. Oh, it gets worse. So the daughter's married to the producer, the sister of the producer. The book, the original book, is written by a childhood friend. So the way that he wrote Michael was intentional. It wasn't based off of, oh, I interviewed Michael and he didn't seem like he was. It was intentional that they wrote that boy that he was dumb and didn't know nothing about football, and that the Tuohys saved him and the Tuohys gave him all this insight and taught him how to play football. That was a plan. That was intentional. That was very intentional. But let me give y'all this last little, well, it's not the last little bit, but this the biggest bombshell. This the biggest bombshell. Y'all ready? Tell me y'all ready. Tell me y'all ready for this bombshell, because baby, this blew my. When I heard this, baby, I had to. I was laying down listening. I was in bed, baby. I had to sit up and rewind, and I had to listen to it again. I said, "You what the what?" Michael Lewis. Did I say Collins? Child, I'm sorry, Coca. They do. I thought Michael Lewis. I'm sorry. Where did you get Collins? Collins is the daughter's name, child. I'm sorry. Okay, we ready? So when it came time to negotiate the contracts for the movie The Blind Side, when they were gonna make it into a movie, and it came time to negotiate the contracts, the Tuohys and their two biological, I don't put that in air quotes, the Tuohys and their two biological kids were represented by a Hollywood agent by the name of, I wrote his name down. I know I wrote his name down. By the name of Michael Snyder. He is a he is a Hollywood agent from CAA. Now, anybody knows anything about Hollywood, you know that is the creme de la creme. I would say probably 95% of all Hollywood actors are represented by somebody from CAA, some agent that's connected to CAA. They are the creme de la creme when it comes to Hollywood agents, right? Sean Tuohy, Leanne Tuohy, the son, Sean Jr., and the daughter, Collins, were represented by a Hollywood agent to negotiate their contract. Ask me who Michael was represented by. Baby, Michael was represented by Aunt Debbie, the family lawyer. You heard me. Aunt Debbie, the family lawyer, represented Michael, while the rest of the family was represented by a Hollywood agent. Now, the Tuohys, because they were his conservators, they had every right to do what they did. They were under no obligation to get Michael an agent. They had every right to give Michael whoever they wanted Michael to represent him to negotiate his contract. So, of course, it is alleged in this petition that the Tuohys received, that's where that $225,000 advance and the 2.5% of residuals, that's where that paper, Michael's lawyer, it sounds like Michael's lawyer saw the contract. Now, the contract was not a part of the petition, but again, if this case goes to trial and there's discovery, I promise you that contract is going to be a part of the lawsuit. Michael's lawyers, this number is too specific for it to be made up. They didn't pull that number out their ass. They didn't just say, oh, we think that the Tuohys got $225,000 and 2.5%. That didn't come out their ass. That was very specific. That came from somewhere very specific. And I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like Michael's lawyers have seen this contract, because where did those numbers come from? But we know that the lawyer for the Tuohys actually confirmed it, and that we talked about that yesterday. They confirmed that in the statement that he made yesterday, that the Tuohys did receive an advance and they did receive residuals, but he tried to make it seem like it wasn't that much money. Michael got nothing. According to this petition, Michael's contract did not negotiate him to get any money. Now, I don't believe Michael didn't get nothing. That's my opinion. I don't believe Michael got zero, but I do not believe that Michael got what the Tuohys got. I believe he got something. I don't believe he got zero, but the petition says he didn't get any money. I don't believe that. I believe that the contract that he signed didn't give him any money, but I do believe that the Tuohys probably gave him some money. That I believe. But the contract that he signed did not give him any money. He also, here's the other thing, y'all. Y'all ready? This is the last bombshell. And then, I mean, again, I'm gonna finish going over what I had, but this one was a bombshell too. But in that contract that he signed with 20th Century Fox, he signed over all of his NIL. And for people who don't know what an NIL is, that is name, image, and likeness until he got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, because that's the time period that the movie covered. So Michael signed over all of his rights to his name, image, likeness from the time he was born until the age of whatever he got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. In perpetuity, meaning for the rest of his life, 20th Century Fox owns the rights to his name, image, and likeness. If 20th Century Fox wants to make 20 movies, 20 sequels about The Blind Side, they have every right to do it, and they don't have to ask Michael's permission for shit, as long as it ends at the time he got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. He also signed over limited power to his NIL to 20th Century Fox after that. So after the time he got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, if 20th Century Fox wants to make a sequel, they have every right to make a sequel, but then they would have to negotiate with Michael, because they don't own 100%. They only own a partial percent. So they would have to, if there was ever going to be a sequel to The Blind Side, then they would, which at this point, they're going to make a sequel. Somebody going to make a damn sequel. They would have had to negotiate something with him. But they have a right to make the movie. They have a right to make a movie. And according to Emily Baker, getting out of those types of contracts are damn near impossible. Now, what she did say was that she was curious about the fact that it seems like 20th Century Fox never enforced it, because Michael has written books about that time period of his life, and it doesn't seem like 20th Century Fox ever sued him or ever pursued royalties or any percentage of that money. So it sounds like either 20th Century Fox didn't care, or maybe, I'm sure they knew, because I mean, they get paid to know, but it sounds like maybe they just didn't care. I don't know, but they never pursued Michael for any royalties from his books or anything like that, because he's written 2 books, since that time. So I'm with you, High Vibe. This needs to be a whole Netflix docuseries, because baby, this thing is deep. And I'm telling y'all, listen, I would not be surprised if the NCAA launches an investigation. I would not be surprised if they come back later and they sue. They sue the Tuohys for more, right? Surviving the Tuohys. All right, now let me make sure I got everything, because those were the main bombshells. Because I said, what? Let me make sure I got everything. Let me go through my notes. Writer of the book, Hollywood agents, called the aunt, not a lawsuit, just a filing. Oh, and we already talked about this, but there has been no further paperwork since the conservatorship was granted. Legally, the Tuohys were supposed to submit financial documents on a yearly basis. So between the time this conservatorship went into place when he was 18 and today, there's been no accounting for the money that Michael has made over the last 20 years under this conservatorship. That is a violation. Thank you. Thank you for being a member for 3 months, Amber. Thank you, my love. That is a violation of the conservatorship. So again, they are in violation for the last 20 years. For the last 20 years. And again, that goes to my theory. I'm going to get to my theory in a minute, but that goes to my theory of what I think went down here. Let me make, again, dumb. He's not dumb. No financial documents. They did not teach him how to play football. Original filing. Not known for okay. It said in his paperwork that he is not known for any mental or physical issues. So again, Emily Baker and Pam and Natalie were confused as to why this conservatorship was even granted if there's no history about him having any mental or physical issues. Now, Michael did say that at one point in time when he was a child, he was put in a mental hospital, but that was when he was on the streets and he was homeless and running away from foster care. That doesn't mean that he literally had a mental issue. That just meant they probably didn't know what else to do with his ass. But it didn't come up, according to this paperwork, that wasn't even brought up in court, because in the paperwork it says that there are no known mental or physical issues. So again, why was he even given the conservatorship? I don't know. He cannot enter any contracts. Daughter was married. Attorney must have seen the movie contract. Court waiver guardian ad litem. No accountings for the 2 books or any of the time he played in the NFL or endorsements. Never had legal guardianship. Tony Henderson had to have the grades, play football. I want to make sure I covered everything, y'all. That's all. And then we're going to talk about this. Once he became 18, Aunt Debbie, adoption. Oh, and as of the date of the filing, it was still on Leanne's official website for her charity that Michael was adopted by them. So again, y'all, this is a lie that they have continued to perpetuate. They still saying that they adopted this boy. I mean, they might be down now. Excuse me, y'all. But as of the date of this filing, it was still on the website that he was adopted. Okay, stop referring to him. Oh, that's the other thing they want. That's the other part of this, the petition. They want the Tuohys to take down any mention of him being their adopted son. Stop saying it. Stop perpetuating. Like, stop the lie, basically. Take it off your website. And now I don't know what happens to the movie. They're going to have to change the movie from based on a true story to just straight up fiction. I mean, they just going to have to change the genre. It can't be. It has to fall under fiction at this point, right? All right. Michael allegedly signed away. Okay, I wrote that. NFL draft, non-exclusive rights. Judge Benham petition says 25. Court made it permanent. Waived the. No. This is the final thing. This is important too. The court, meaning the judge, also waived the bond. Waived the bond. So what the bond is, and Britney Spears actually had a bond on her conservatorship. The bond is, it's just like when you go to court and you have to put up a bond. You have to put up a certain amount of money to guarantee that if there's any impropriety, as it relates to the money, it's a bond to make sure that the person can recover something. So let's say in the case of somebody like a Michael Orr, who at the time didn't have no money. I mean, he had the potential to earn money, but at the time he did not have any money. The bond might have been $1 million, $50,000. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making up a number because I really don't know. But let's say $50,000, because at the time the boy didn't have no money, right? The judge even waived that. So there's not even a bond in place that Michael can say, I want my bond. They need to surrender that bond because they promised to take care of me financially, and there's no accounting for it. And so there was a bond for $2 million. Give me my $2 million, right? The judge waived that. Now, the judge might have said, I mean, in hindsight, the judge might say, well, I waived it because he didn't have no money. But the fact that he had the potential to earn the money should have put something in place. That's according to what the attorneys are saying. Cindy, I promise you, if we do the research, I agree with you. I feel like there's a connection between that judge and the family too. Now, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Child, they should have went on and gave that boy that $15 million and made him sign an NDA and kept it moving. I'm telling you, that's what they should have done. Baby, they about to, yes, Molly, you in danger. So here's my theory. And then I'm going to read y'all this article that Mia just sent me, okay? But I want to tell y'all my theory first because I don't want my theory to change based on what might be in this particular article. Here's my theory. I honestly feel like the Tuohys only wanted control of Michael to A, make sure he went to Ole Miss, and B, to negotiate this movie contract. I think that the reason why they wanted it to end at 25 is because they honestly didn't have any more use for him after that. I mean, yeah, he went to the NFL, but y'all know, like I know, the NFL ain't guaranteed. He might have played in the NFL 1 year, blew his knee out, and we never heard from him again. There was no guarantee that he would have had a career, or even made a lot of money. Like the position he played isn't one of those positions that he ain't a quarterback. He's not the running back. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I really feel like they only were interested in making sure he went to Ole Miss because they probably made some promises and all that good stuff. And I think they were only concerned about that movie contract. And I think that's the other reason why they have not enforced the conservatorship over the last 20 years. They got what they wanted from him. I don't think that they had any interest beyond that movie and their charity, because they've made a lot of money off this charity too. I honestly feel like, and again, I'm not giving them no props. Let's be clear. I'm not giving them no excuses. Hey Ray, I'm not giving them no excuses. I'm not giving them no props. None of the above. I promise y'all I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I honestly feel like they only had a limited use for him. And when they got what they wanted from him, I feel like they were done. So now we fast forward 20 years, and yes, technically he's still under this conservatorship, but I think that's why they let him sign his NFL contract. They let him negotiate whatever endorsement deals he had. They damn sure didn't care about the car he was buying, the house he was buying, credit cards. They didn't give a damn after that. They got what they wanted. They were already rich before Michael came into the picture. We know that. But they made a lot of money off that boy's back. A lot of money. And they got something they also got something they didn't have before. They had money, but they didn't have notoriety. Now they on Oprah. They walking red carpets. It elevated them. You see what I'm saying? That's right, High Vibe. They are their ancestors. It elevated them. So honestly, when people say, well, yeah, that means that he couldn't have got a credit card. Sure, that's technically what it means. But I don't think they enforced it because I think they got everything they wanted from him. That doesn't mean they got everything they could have gotten from him. But after that, they didn't want to be bothered with that boy. Well, he was a man then, but they didn't want to be bothered with. You think they gave a damn about whether he got a credit card or not? You think they cared whether he bought a Cadillac or a Porsche? You think they cared where he bought a house, or if he bought a house for his mama, or if he bought a house for his auntie? They didn't give a damn about what that boy was doing with his money after they got what they wanted from him. And that's my opinion. That is my opinion as to why they didn't press this issue. That's just my opinion. And so now it's 20 years later. That's why the father said in his statement, I mean, if he wants us to end the conservatorship, we will. Why somebody got to ask you? That tells me that you knew that shit was still in place. And see, they kept that conservatorship in their back pocket just in case they wanted to circle back around. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Really being stating facts. My cousin played for both the Eagles and the Seahawks in his position, and the average span for their careers only 5 to 6 years. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he was a defensive lineman, and they're not the money makers, even though they're the ones that put their bodies on the line every play, but they're not the money makers. So I don't think they knew that he was going to the NFL, but who knew he was going to play in the NFL for 12 years? Nobody knew that. Who knew he was going to play he played in 2 Super Bowls, won one? Who knew he was going to win a Super Bowl? Now, they remember that conservatorship was in place, so if they ever wanted to circle back around, baby, they had every right to do that. Yes, and they could not continue to enforce it because, as it was said, he wasn't stupid and he would have started asking questions. That's true too, Yvette. Now, that's true too. If he had started, you're right. That's the other part of it. If they had started enforcing it, he probably would have asked some questions. I know I would have. I'd have been like, wait, what? I'm sorry. I'm 30 years old. I'm buying a car. I don't need your permission. You're right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. So that's my theory on it as to why the Tuohys ain't said too much about it. Now, let me read y'all this article now. Mia just sent this to me, and this looks interesting, and I want to read it. Oh, Lord. They said Britney Spears' husband said the girl beat him up. Lord, that's about to get ugly, too. Okay, now this is the actual Judge Benham. He's a white guy. He's not that. He didn't go to Tuskegee, y'all. That's him. That's him. It's another Benham. Okay. I'm not gonna read his whole thing here. He was served on 32 years. He earned his degrees from Vanderbilt, undergrad and law degree. He had been on the bench since 1997. So he was new. Y'all, he was new on the bench when this happened, because that happened in what they say? When was the conservatorship in 2004? Something like that. So he hadn't been on the bench that long. So before that, he had been an attorney. That's interesting. Oh God, this damn thing. Okay. Let's now let me read this article that Mia sent, and then hold on, let me see here. All right, this is from August the 15th. This is from US Law Week. This is from Bloomberg Law, so this is going to give you a little bit of legal side to it. It's called Orr's Blindside Guardianship Case File Ignored for 19 years. Yep, yes, Yogi. If he were to pass away, they are in charge of all of his money. Yep, that is true. Okay. Judge in the case told Bloomberg Law no filings came before him. The Michael Orr case shows how conservatorships receive scant scrutiny. Well, we learned that, child, this daggone camera makes me mad. Okay. Amid the eyebrow-raising contentions detailed in the court this week by former NFL star Michael Orr that has supposed adoptive parents never actually adopted him, and that an Oscar-winning movie about their relationship was built on a lie, another truth was also revealed. In the U.S., adult conservatorship often failed to protect those under the court's watch. In Orr's case, records show the system wasn't watching at all for nearly 2 decades. The judge who approved Orr's conservatorship told Bloomberg Law no case papers ever crossed his desk after the initial approval. To my recollection, nothing was ever forwarded to me, said former probate judge Robert Benham, who retired in 2013. Instead of being adopted as he thought, Orr had gone into a conservatorship. It was in 2004. So the man had only been a judge for 6 years when this came before him. Yet for 19 years, his conservators never filed annual accountings or other court papers. Orr's filing contends that and court records show. Indeed, the court file in the Orr case is empty between December 2004, when the conservatorship was approved, and this week, when the new petition was filed. A court official said the Orr digitized file contains all of the case pleadings. Did he ever ask questions about the case? The judge said no, and I would not have a reason to unless they filed something in court for an additional hearing. Okay, then it just goes into Michael's backstory again, and then it talks about what happened. Hold on. All right, the conservators and their children collectively received millions of dollars, and Michael received nothing for his rights. Okay, the story would not have existed without him. Randall Fishman, an attorney who represented the Tuohys when they filed for the conservatorship, said he couldn't. Now, that's a different name than what's in the paperwork, but okay. Said that he could not answer questions. I won't have any comment about any of that until I talk to them and we file an answer. Oh, I can't wait for their answer. I can't wait for their answer. Bloomberg Law sent questions to the Tuohys about the conservatorship and court petition, but they did not respond by Tuesday afternoon. The Tuohys said they were devastated, blah, 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 don't care. Ann Johnson, an attorney for Orr, says she could not comment about the case either. 19 years after it began, Orr is formally seeking to end his conservatorship and to require the Tuohys to account for their actions. He is asking a probate judge in Shelby County to sanction the Tuohys for their misconduct and to require them to pay compensatory and punitive damages. That's where the money's going to come in. Baby, the compensatory and punitive damages, ooh-wee. Okay, no oversight. Across the U.S., adult guardianships and conservatorships often feature scant judicial scrutiny. A Bloomberg Law investigation published this year in the name of protection revealed how lax oversight leaves those under guardianship vulnerable to abuse. In their petition to end Orr's case, his lawyers Johnson and Gerald zero in on his lack of oversight. The Tuohys, they said, never filed yearly accountings as required, nor did they file required fiduciary or other statements to inform the court as to whether the conservatorship should continue. Retired probate judge Benham said that the clerk's office, not the judge, will be responsible for flagging any late or unfiled reports. So now the clerk didn't do their job. Well, it sounded like a whole lot of people wasn't doing their job down to Nashville, Shelby County. Benham said he always knew the case was a conservatorship, not an adoption, and said he hoped the structure he approved would have benefited or over the ensuing years. How? How could you feel like this was going to benefit that young man? How, Judge? How, Sway? Benham admitted that he was surprised when he saw the news of Orr's case filing. My first reaction was that I'd like to hear both sides of the story. To contact the reporter on this, okay, then it just tells you who you can contact. Y'all, so the Bloomberg Law and talked to the judge. Now the judge is gonna CYA. Y'all know he gonna CYA. He said that wasn't on him. That was up to the clerk to remind him that they hadn't filed anything. Baby, for 19 years, you just retired in 2013. Well, I ain't gonna say just retired in 2013. So that would have been from 2006 to 2013. That was 7 years that you should have been following the case. So you mean for 7 years your clerk didn't do their job? They should have been fired. So ain't nobody doing their job down in Shelby County. Nobody. And then he gonna say, well, I always knew it wasn't an adoption. You're also an attorney that understands the difference between adoption and conservatorship. This was an 18-year-old young man who was told, yes, he was told it was a conservatorship, but he was told, oh, it's the same as an adoption. How was he supposed to know the difference? He wasn't a lawyer. He wasn't formally trained. I mean, he wasn't stupid, but I don't think most of us at the age of 18 would know the difference between an adoption and a conservatorship. Hell, most of us just learned about conservatorships in recent years. I know I did. I'm not gonna tell no lies. I learned about I knew what the word conservatorship, but I didn't understand all the ins and outs of what a conservatorship was and wasn't really until I started following the Britney Spears case. You would hear, oh, that person's under a conservatorship. Most of us ain't know what the hell that meant if we weren't formally trained to know. That's what I'm saying. The average person don't know the difference. He blaming the clerk. And the clerk's sitting there going, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to sound extra. But this is what I am going to say. This case could potentially lead to criminal allegations. It certainly could lead to sanctions of the Tui family, which they will have to pay millions and millions of dollars. When they say they're seeking compensatory and punitive damages, baby, for 20 years of interest, mental, baby, don't get me on the mental, the pain and suffering. Baby, I thought y'all were my parents. I thought y'all had legally adopted me. Y'all had it all on y'all website. It was in the damn movie. It was in the book. Y'all knew. I might not have understand the difference, but y'all damn sure knew y'all were lying. The NCAA could launch an investigation. And like I said earlier on, if the NCAA get involved, they can go back to the years that Michael played for Ole Miss, and they could vacate anything that happened to Ole Miss in those 4 years. Or 3 years, however long he played, they could vacate any championships, all of that. And they could fine the university millions of dollars. They've done it before. And that, again, like I said, that's not fair to the current school and the current players, but oh well. They could subpoena the athletic director of Ole Miss, the athletic director of Tennessee, because they said University of Tennessee was a school that was pushing for the investigation. They thought something wasn't clean. They saw what was going on over there with them Tuies and Michael and Ole Miss. They could subpoena those people. They could subpoena the officials from the NCAA at the time. They sure did do it to Reggie Bush. They've done it. They've done it to multiple people, but Reggie Bush is probably one of the most famous. Hell, Reggie Bush had won a Super Bowl and had been in the NFL for 10 years, and they still reached back and they stripped him of his Heisman Trophy and they fined USC. Absolutely. Yeah, this thing's ugly. So I really wanted to come down here and just because y'all leave comments under my videos and I've read comments in other places, and I wanted to just give you guys what is stated. Now, when I say facts, I'm not saying that it's true because we haven't heard the Tui's response, but I'm saying what Michael and his lawyers are alleging, because I don't think people are understanding what's being said. And when I saw the Shade Room today post, oh, well, he said that he knew he was under a conservatorship. Right. But if you read the whole passage, it said, Michael even said in his book, oh, a conservatorship is the same as an adoption. He said it in the book, which tells you that that's what he thought. He wrote it in his book 10 years ago. He wrote that book when the movie came out. What's the name of the book, child? The first book he wrote, Beating All the Odds or something like that. So that proves his point. Y'all there's some people out here that's trying to make it seem like Michael should have known. Why? Why would he have known? Especially if they have not been enforcing it. Anyway, with that being said, y'all, I still don't remember the main thing I wanted to tell y'all in members only. But I do remember the two things I want to tell y'all, but I don't remember the third. So I'm going to try to remember the third, but I know it's two things I want to tell y'all. So we're going to go into members only real quick. It's not going to be long. And then I'm going to the pool. Now, tonight, I'm going to, of course, I'm going to do my Big Brother update. But also tonight, I think we might do the Scientology documentary. I watched it and I had my notes, and I need to go ahead and do that have that conversation with y'all before I forget. I mean, I have my notes, but before, you have your notes, but then it's also stuff you remember as you were watching it. So let's do that tonight. Unless something major happens in the news that we need to have a tribe meeting about, but I don't see too much. I mean, the situation with Brittany and her husband, child, he said she beat him up in his sleep. She probably did. I mean, I don't know. I ain't living with them people. Right. People always want to blame the victim. It irritates me. What's up, Andre? Your kids went to school where Michael went to high school. What? Okay. Go on now, girl. I just got here. So in the book, he said they told him that he was in a conservatorship. Right. He said, I'm gonna read y'all exactly what it says. I'm gonna read y'all exactly because it was on the Shade Room. So I'm gonna read y'all exactly what it says, y'all. Because I don't want to lie on nobody. Y'all, Plies is hilarious. Y'all know he happy as hell. He happy as hell that Brittany getting a divorce, child. Okay. Child, where'd I put it? Okay, here it is right here. Wait a minute, hold on. That's not it. Hold on, where was it? Maybe it was the neighborhood talk. Hold on. I thought it was the Shade Room. Maybe it was the neighborhood talk because I was scrolling back. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I look at all these blogs in the morning. Maybe it was the neighborhood talk. Here it is right here. Okay. In Michael Orr's, so this is the headline. The headline says, in Michael Orr's 2011 memoir, he reveals that he knew the Tuohys had him in a conservatorship. And so here's the actual passage. Thank you, Tracy. She just sent it to me. So let me read y'all the actual passage from his book. It said, it kind of felt like a formality, as I'd been part of the family for more than a year. At that point, since I was already over the age of 18 and considered an adult by the state of Tennessee, Sean and Leanne would be named as my legal conservators. They explained to me that it means pretty much the exact same thing as adoptive parents. but that the laws were just written in a way that took my age into account. Honestly, I don't care what it was called. I was just happy that no one could argue that we weren't legally what we already knew we were, which is a family. That just confirms what the boy said, that yes, he knew he was in a conservatorship, but they told him it was the same thing as an adoption because he was over the age of 18, which was a lie, by the way. In the state of Tennessee, they could have adopted that boy at 18. I'm sorry, young man. Well, he ain't a young man, 37. They could have adopted that man at 18. They chose not to because they wanted this conservatorship because they wanted his money. But that's another. I already told y'all my theory. So I didn't understand this whole headline. I said, see, y'all are really trying to turn this into something that's not. They making it seem like he's lying. At least that's how I took the headline. I took the headline that they were trying to say that he was lying. But if you read, this is directly from the book. This is an excerpt directly from the book. If you read it, he says, yeah, they told me it was a conservatorship, but they told me it was the same thing as an adoption. And he certainly did not know that he was still under a conservatorship until this year when his lawyer found the paperwork. And how would he know? The Tuohys weren't doing anything. They weren't filing any paperwork. They weren't working with the court. They weren't enforcing it. How would they know? I mean, how would he know? People be doing too much when the least will do, child. They be doing too much when the least will do. All right, y'all. I ain't mean to be here an hour and 15 minutes, but child, you know I love y'all. I'm going to go ahead and go into members only again. I know it's two things I want to say to y'all. Damn, I can't remember what the third thing was. I know it was two things I wanted to say. I cannot remember the third part. But anyway, so I'm going to go swimming. If I don't overdo it, I'll be back later on tonight to talk about Scientology. I just can't. I just hope I don't overdo it, child. I saw two different lawyers break this down, and both were livid by the time they made it to the end. Emily and Natalie, the lawyer chick. Oh, Pam was too. Andre, you didn't see Pam? Pam was pissed. Emily was pissed. Now, y'all know Emily and the lawyer chick. Oh, Natalie, baby. Yeah, you're right. All of the lawyers, I saw all three videos, and all three of them women were livid. And all three of them women want to see the discovery. They were like, oh, I need to see what was actually written. Okay. I'm about to call Pam when I'm on my way to the pool, child. I gotta call Pam today. I gotta check on my girl, you know. Her baby girl be running her, baby. Her baby girl be running her, child. All right, y'all. We get ready to go into members only. Emily is talking. Right. Emily says she driving down to the courthouse, child. She said she want to get that paperwork. She said she want to listen, baby, and I'm here for it. I am here for the road trip, Emily. I am here for the road trip. Child, y'all know I got friends in Nashville. I might have to take me a road trip. I got friends that live down there. Matter of fact, I need to call my girlfriend that lives in Nashville. I ain't talked to her in a little while. I need to check on my baby. Check on my girl. Child, this is why I need to be rich, y'all. I need to be rich so I can just travel and visit my friends. I got friends all over I got friends in other countries. I need to just be rich so I can just be like, I'm going to go visit, you know, my cousin who lives in Rome for a couple of weeks. I'm just going to go hang out with her. Oh, let me go visit my friend that lives in California. I'm going to go stay there for a couple of weeks. Like, I just need to be, that's what I need in my life. You in Nashville, Andre? Baby, next time I come to Nashville, I'm going to have to hit you up. Real talk. Real talk. Next time I come to Nashville, I'll have to hit you up. We can do lunch or something, darling. Real talk. Because I actually was trying to I really wanted to go to Nashville this summer. I just couldn't make it happen. I was going to do another road trip, you know, like I did last year, where I drove to, I went from here to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh to Detroit, and from Detroit, I went to Louisville to go visit my girlfriend in Louisville. But I was going to go to Nashville, but I couldn't make it happen. Driving wise, I could make it happen, but I was like, that might be a bit much. So. But that's what I started to do. I was going to add a couple of days in Nashville and then a couple of days in Louisville and then come home. Because y'all know I like me a good road trip. I don't mind driving. Especially when I don't have to rush. Like I don't have to be there by a certain time to do something specific. I can just get on the road, and whenever I get there, I get there. I love a road trip. Okay, Andre, that's the date. When I come next time, and I'm going to try to get to Nashville sometime in the next couple of months. Maybe I may go over there over Christmas break. No, I can't. I don't know, child. Anyway, let me get off of here, y'all. I'm gonna be in Dallas in October. I'm gonna be in Dallas in October, and y'all know my little cousin just moved to Houston, so I'll probably be in Houston sometime soon too. And my nephew just moved. He just got stationed at Fort Hood, so I need to visit him. So I'll probably be in Texas, but I'm not in Texas in the summer. It's too goddamn hot. It is too hot. I don't know how y'all do that. It'd be 115 degrees before you wake up. I don't even. I don't play them games. No, ma'am. And I like the heat, but I don't like that kind of heat. No, ma'am. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'll see y'all later on tonight. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace.